I guess I fooled you, huh?
Sure.
Chris, leave him alone. He doesn't know any better.
It was a joke.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 worst decisions in the Friday the 13th franchise.
Take your best shot.
I don't want him frozen, Rowan. I want him soft.
Hi, Vic.
Get lost.
Come on, don't be like that.
For this list, we're looking at ill-fated choices made by characters in the Friday the 13th movies. Since most of the poor decisions mentioned in the list have drastic consequences that affect the plot, of course, there will be some spoilers. What do you think was the worst decision made in these movies? Let us know in the comments. Now on to a top 10 that will reign supreme in stupidity. Number 10, Partying It Up, the Friday the 13th franchise.
Somebody will see.
Generally speaking, you increase your chances of surviving a horror movie if you stay away from illicit substances and hanky-panky. And this is especially true in the Friday the 13th movies.
We weren't doing anything. We were just messing around.
There are countless examples of teens meeting their maker because they engage in these activities. Jason actively seeks out kids who party because his mother held a grudge against a couple of teenagers who couldn't keep it in their pants.
Hey, you want a beer?
Or do you want to smoke some pot?
These vices leave young people distracted, unaware of the danger that lurks around them.
Ted! Hey, Ted, where the hell's the corkscrew?
So if you're in Crystal Lake and want to get past Jason, it's best to not overindulge. Number 9. Joey Pestering Vic. Friday the 13th, Part 5, A New Beginning. At a halfway house for troubled teens, Joey decides to pay fellow resident Vic a visit while he's chopping firewood.
Hi, Vic.
Get lost.
Come on, don't be like that. I'm gonna help you with the wood today.
Vic screams at Joey to go away, but Joey doesn't pick up on this obvious social cue that Vic doesn't want his company.
Leave me alone!
Even after Vic chops a candy bar in half with an axe that Joey left for him, showing clearly that he has anger management issues, Joey keeps pushing Vic until he snaps and does the predictable.
Forget it, Vic. Just forget it. But I think you're really out of line.
The simple lesson here is never aggravate someone who's in a bad mood and carrying an axe. Number 8. Charles pushing his niece into Crystal Lake. Friday the 13th, Part 8. Jason Takes Manhattan.
It's so pretty today.
Yeah. Perfect day for swimming.
In a flashback, high school biology teacher Charles McCulloch committed this horrible act against his niece, Rennie, as a misguided attempt to teach her how to swim. As a result, Rennie repressed the memory but had hallucinations related to it.
Push me into the lake.
Years later, when Rennie recovers the memory of what her uncle did to her, she and her boyfriend abandon him in New York City. That leaves him vulnerable when he's hunted down by Jason. Coincidentally, when Jason dispatches Charles, he's submerged in a barrel of waste, a harsh dose of karma. Number 7. Shelley constantly pranking his friends. Friday the 13th, Part 3. The reason Shelley plays these pranks is because he has low self-esteem and wants to be accepted by his peers.
God damn it, Shirley. Why do you always have to be such an asshole?
However, this has the opposite effect, as it irritates his friends, and they think he's trying too hard.
Sure.
Chris, leave him alone. He doesn't know any better.
It was a joke.
Unfortunately, Shelley's hijinks lead to tragic consequences. First, it gets him killed when he's attacked by Jason and a friend refuses to help, thinking it's another prank. And then his friend Vera is finished off when she mistakes Jason for Shelley, who scared her while wearing a hockey mask.
Hey, now cut that out right now. That's not funny.
Number 6. Darren deciding to confront Jason. Friday the 13th, Part 6. Jason Lives.
Told you we should have left a trail of breadcrumbs.
Don't start.
On their way to camp, Lisbeth and Darren run into Jason in the middle of the woods.
Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
Recognizing a threat when she sees one, Lisbeth wants to back up their car out of there. But Darren wants to scare Jason. When that doesn't work, he pulls out a gun from the glove compartment and steps out of the car. Needless to say, that plan fails.
And if I get him first?
Things only escalate from there, and if Darren had just listened to Lisbeth, they may have both survived. Here's a tip for you. If a creepy stranger in a hockey mask and wielding a fence post confronts you at night, just get out of there. Number 5. Going to Crystal Lake despite its bloody history. The Friday the 13th franchise. Between the killing sprees of Pamela Voorhees and her son Jason, why would anyone visit or live in Crystal Lake?
A revenge that he'll continue to seek if anyone ever enters his wilderness again.
Jason was my son.
Given all the carnage, it doesn't come across as a relaxing vacation spot to get away from it all, as it does a magnet for serial killers.
Her son? Jason? He came back.
Yet, in the sequels, that doesn't stop young people from hanging out in the area and ushering in their doom.
No one in Forest Green wants to be reminded of what that maniac did here. That's why we changed the name. People want to forget this was Crystal Lake.
In Part 6, the town tries to get over its reputation by changing its name from Crystal Lake to Forest Green, as if all their problems can be solved by rebranding. No, their problem revolves around a dude wearing a hockey mask who pretty much doesn't like anybody.
Have to be warned, Sheriff. Jason will return to the area that's familiar. No matter what you call it, it's still Camp Crystal Lake to him.
Number 4. Not listening to Crazy Ralph. Friday the 13th.
You're going to Camp Blood, ain't you?
A self-described messenger of God, this Crystal Lake local tries to warn the kids that they're doomed if they go into Camp Crystal Lake, but the kids choose to stay.
It's got a death curse.
As a result, most of them end up getting bumped off. To be fair, Ralph doesn't look like a reliable source to take advice from, as everything about him is weird and awkward. But he was right about the misfortune that came to people who visited the campgrounds.
You're all doomed. You're all doomed.
Ironically, though, not even Ralph listened to his own advice, which led to his demise in Part 2. Number 3. Tommy Jarvis digging up Jason's grave. Friday the 13th, Part 6. Jason Lives.
Remember me, Jason? Jason, don't you remember? Remember, Jason.
In the Friday the 13th franchise, Tommy Jarvis is one of the most prominent characters, significant alone for having actually successfully killed Jason in the final chapter. However, his first encounter with Jason weighed heavily on Tommy and disrupted his mental well-being.
Jason belongs in hell. I'm gonna see he gets there.
At the beginning of Part 6, he brings a buddy with him to exhume Jason's corpse and incinerate his remains, to ensure that Jason never comes back. But his need for peace of mind results in lightning striking Jason's corpse, thus reviving him and making him an unstoppable killing machine. Not only did his plan make no sense, it was responsible for bringing Jason back. So all the deaths from here on out can be laid at Tommy's feet. Yeah, thanks a lot, buddy. Number 2. Julius taking Jason on in a boxing match. Friday the 13th, Part 8. Jason takes Manhattan. Separated from his group while stranded in New York, Julius is chased up a rooftop by Jason. Rather than continue to run, he decides to put his boxing skills to use and tries to punch Jason out. After Jason became a superhuman zombie in Part 6, we've seen him take all kinds of damage, including being shot and set on fire, and it all seems to roll off his shoulders. Now, Julius may be a good boxer in his own right, but he's obviously no match for Jason, who engages in rope-a-dope with Julius, who is unable to make a dent. As if this wasn't a big enough mistake, when Julius runs out of energy, he unwisely asks for Jason's best shot, setting up Jason for the finishing blow.
Take your best shot.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few other terrible decisions in the Friday the 13th franchise that definitely deserve an honorable mention. Court driving the RV recklessly. Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives. If you can't hear someone getting attacked in an RV, your music's too loud. Miles climbing up the mast. Friday the 13th Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. He had nowhere to go but down. The government deciding to transport Jason unfrozen. Jason X. Another blunder, courtesy of the deep state.
I don't want him frozen, Rowan. I want him soft.
We've already discussed this.
Yeah, well, I had to go over your head.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. The camp counselors neglecting Jason. The Friday the 13th franchise. This negligent act is the original sin of the franchise. 2 camp counselors were so busy fooling around that they failed to notice Jason struggling in the water, even though he was supposed to be under their supervision.
Did you know that a young boy drowned the year before those 2 others were killed? The counselors weren't paying any attention. They were making love while that young boy drowned.
When Jason didn't turn up, Pamela Voorhees believed that she'd lost her child. Not only did this lead to the counselors getting their comeuppance, it's the genesis for all the murders and violence that takes place in the series.
I am Jason.
In the first film, Mrs. Voorhees begins her reign of terror to keep Camp Crystal Lake from reopening, bitter about what happened to her son. And when she's killed, Jason has to avenge his mother and continue her mission against libertine teens.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.